Awesome. Well, welcome. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you.
Welcome, Amber. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and begin with the readings, and I will be admitting people as they come in. But I'm so happy to be connected with both of you today, and thank you. Thank you for making the time to be here. I will begin with the card readings, and then we'll go from there. Maybe if last week we had some visitors from the spirit world also. So Dawn, I'm gonna go ahead and read for you first, if that's okay, since
Sure, yeah.
you're already muted. And as I connect with you, Dawn, I'm feeling, well, it's really interesting because I feel like this time of year can be extra emotions can be extra high for all of us, of course, because there are a lot more happening with the holidays. We're missing our loved ones. And I also feel that, during the hustle and bustle of like everyday life and just going to work, paying bills, doing everything, we just keep in that routine, in that mode. But when we have a little downtime, when we have a little time that is more about connecting with family, and it's a little bit of a slower pace for some of us, it's at that time that more comes to the surface, and more of that loss, more of that grief, and those connections. So I am feeling that coming from our group. And I also have to say, I've been experiencing that a lot today as well, missing my loved ones. And Dawn, it really feels in particular.
Recording in progress.
Sorry about that. Dawn, I do feel a gentleman around you. I thought I was starting with the cards, but I do feel a gentleman around you as I connect to the spirit world. So, and this very much feels like a father figure to me. So this would be either father or someone. You understand that? And I feel that he is coming. This is someone who's been on your mind a lot lately, and this is someone that's been, it's very missed, especially at this time of year. And he talks about, does your father have, he's showing me some tattoos, and he's showing me also a really some like one that was really important to the family or connected to a family member. Would you understand that reference?
Yeah, I have a tattoo for my dad.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. Thank you. So I wasn't sure if it was him, but he's bringing that up, and he's also so happy that you have that feeling of connection as you see that. And I feel that he's already someone who comes into your thoughts and your awareness often, but that was a great also know that he was there, and as you made that choice to do that, to receive that. And also he was very much someone that you could go to when you felt really stuck with a problem, when you felt that okay, mom's not going to understand this, I need to go to dad. Like, I just feel like it was easier to go to dad with some of these things, and I kind of shielded you from does that make sense to you, that he'd be
yeah, for sure.
And did he love to work on bikes or work on cars? Because he's showing me like working on this. First, I kind of got the feeling it was like a motorcycle, but then I was drawn to him just fixing cars, motorcycles, just fixing things. Does that make sense? Or hold on a second. Do you have an uncle that does that? Because as soon as I said that, he said, bring up my brother.
No, he was the only child, and he wasn't really like mechanically inclined.
Okay, because he said uncle though. So do you have an uncle on the other side that would make sense for? That's still here, not past. That he's still here.
No.
Okay, they might be jumping people on me, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'll throw that back to them. Sorry about that. I'm just
That's
feeling
okay.
like I need to talk about like working on motorcycles, and like when they get detailed, like they get things added, like there's this feeling of like adding adding these customizations. So if somebody else can understand that, either Julie or Amber, definitely let me know. I wish they would always tell me when they're moving people, but sometimes they definitely do not. But Dawn, as I am possibly moving to someone else, I just want to say that I very much feel your dad around you, and I feel that he will be there as you celebrate the holidays. And he's also bringing my awareness to, do you have a son? He's bringing my awareness to, okay.
Yeah.
And do you sometimes see him do things and you say, like, that is just like that reminds me of my dad so much, like an expression or something he says, or have you been saying that recently?
Yeah.
Because I just got the feeling like chip off the old block, and he just gave me this feeling of that there's a lot of similarities there between him.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. So just know that when you are having these thoughts and you're saying these things, that he's very much there with you at that time, and really getting to enjoy in that moment as well. Okay, because this time they told me about someone else coming forward. So I have someone coming forward, someone new coming forward. I don't know if it's with you, Dawn, or Amber, or Julie. So I'm just going to go ahead and give them my awareness. I feel like a woman is stepping forward. This very much feels like grandmother to me. She's making me aware of, she would have the best chili at family gatherings. And I mean, I said, really, chili or just the best cook? No, she's like, I mentioned my chili is so good. The family loved it, would rave about it. They would say, make your chili. This would be like a long process. She would be working on it throughout the day, and just kind of like, and she wouldn't share her recipe. She would just say, nope, I'm not sharing it. I'm not telling you. And I'm not telling anyone, like, this is just, you have to come to me for this great chili. Does anybody recognize that, this grandmother and this recipe that she's talking about? Because it was kind of something everyone in the family loved. And she's also got this great humor. She talks about, teasing everyone, I'm not sharing it. I'm not sharing the recipe. It's mine. Which she ultimately did end up sharing it. But I just want to see if anybody recognizes this grandma. Okay. No worries. I'll keep going. I'll keep delivering with her, because she talks about having, her house, of course, was the house that everyone came to until they eventually started going to her daughters. But I feel like she would have a regular tradition of, she's talking about, we would draw, like you draw the shortest straw to see who does dishes. So this is very specific. Like, I feel like she would, there would be something, either straws or pencil. Well, I think it is straws that, everyone would have to like pick from these, and that would determine who's doing the dishes. Because there were lots of grandchildren, lots of children, grandchildren, and lots of people at these family gatherings. And it kind of talks about her humor too, and that shows how her humor was, and how she would, she kind of stopped communicating with me, but nobody understands that piece either, the drawing the straws. Okay, no worries. I will save her. Maybe it'll be someone that'll end up joining us later, which it's possible that I, getting that communication wrong, but I feel like that part was so specific about the chili and the straws. So I will save that, and I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, interesting. So 2 cards. I just wanted to pull some cards collectively for the group and start beginning on the cards, and we'll do more of the mediumship. But I'm not surprised. I got this feeling alone card. The feeling alone card came up, and also the strengthening bonds card came up. And it makes a lot of sense, because I feel like this time of year, as I said earlier, we feel more grief. We feel more of that loss at this time of year, because we have more downtime, we have more chance to reflect and to think of those that we are missing It is also a time, because we have this downtime, it is a time we can really strengthen that bond with our loved ones. I was actually in a reading earlier today, and we were talking about how the bond with the sitter I was with and their loved one is stronger now that they're in the spirit world. And that is something that happens a lot, is that the bond gets stronger as they move to the spirit world, or as our loved ones are no longer here with us physically. Yes, we miss their physical presence. We miss that we can't just sit with them and hug them and spend as much time with them, but we actually can spend a lot of time with them, and we can learn how to receive the messages that they're always sending to us. So we really don't need a medium for that. We can be already receiving those messages. I'm sure many of you have had experiences, and we can open it up for some dialogue too, if anyone's interested or wants to ask some questions around that, because our loved ones are always working to reach us and to get a hold of us. So if anybody wants to show, even by a show of hands, and Julie, for you can use the mechanical hand if you want, but has anyone had that experience where you just know, that was your loved one sending that sign, giving you that message, you heard that song at just the right time? Have you guys all had those experiences where you just know it was them coming through? That's incredible, because I feel like, thank you, Julie, for sharing that. And I'm so sorry for your loss. And I absolutely understand why that this time of year, especially if it's an anniversary of a passing, is so, can be so difficult and emotional. And it's not the same. They're not here. They're still alive in the spirit world, and they're still living a life, but it's not the same as here. It's not the same as them being, physically here with us. So I know, though, through the years of doing the communication, that they want nothing more than to give us the assurance that they are doing well in the spirit world, that they're living their lives, and that they are around us. And that's why they work so hard to send us those signs, send us those. And when you actually pick up on those, that's wonderful, because I feel like we get like a small percentage of the ones they actually send. Like, they send many more, but often we're so busy, we don't always pick up on them. We don't always receive, the signs and the things that are being sent. So when we do, I think it's really special. Does anybody want to share something that happened for them? And you don't have to, but if anybody would like to share, I think it can be really helpful when we share the signs we receive, because then it helps another person who might hear this later be like, oh my gosh, I had that same experience and I had no idea. Or I questioned, I thought maybe it was my loved one, but my mind talked me out of it. My mind decided it really wasn't. No, it can't be that. I'm just making it up in my head. Oh, the smoke alarms go off. Yes. That and electronics, like those are big ones that are those in the spirit world, really kind of manipulate and get our attention. They really work to send the signs that way. So Julie, thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, on the anniversary of the fight. Wow. Yes. Yep. On significant dates. Absolutely. Absolutely. My grandma actually passed on her birthday, and I think sometime, and I actually know of a friend who they lost their mom and then their dad on the exact same 3 years later on the exact same day. And I think that our soul often they're able to time that. I mean, in my mind, it's like, how in the world did they do that? There isn't a divine intelligence there helping make these synchronicities happen. How does that? But that's what I believe about it. Everyone has to do what feels right for them. But I'll check in if either Dawn or Amber, if you guys want to share any of the signs and things that you've received, or if there's anything really.
Maybe like 5 years ago, we bought a pop-up. Like my family bought a pop-up, and my dad was a big camper. And then when we got the money from the bank to pay for it, the first like $20 bill said RV money. So I thought that was really weird. And then I found out that my parents actually bought the same exact pop-up because all the pop-ups, they have different names. So we bought the same exact pop-up,
Oh my
but
gosh.
mine was like, newer, but it was just really weird because it was like a 20-year difference in us buying it.
And you had no idea. You had no idea until
No,
after.
I had no idea until I looked at a picture like a month after buying it.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. I feel like there are so many of these stories also where we can see in hindsight, we can see these connections and these links. And I know there's just times where I'm just blown away by how much how much the spirit world is really doing on their end to make these things line up, to make things line up and just fit and be. And I just can't even wrap my head around it sometimes. I've been finding a lot of feathers. Yes, feathers, Julie. Feathers are an incredible sign. That's actually one of my main signs. So when I left work to do mediumship and to pursue, starting and creating my own business, I would go on walks every day, and it was well, almost every day. I would try to go on walks every day, but several times a week I was going on these walks, and I kept finding feathers. I kept finding feathers, and I'm like, all the time, every time I'm going out there, in all different sizes, all over the place, just different places, and then places you wouldn't even expect to find them. And then I really learned that was a way that the spirit world was encouraging me to keep going, because as anyone who started a business knows, it's really, really difficult, especially in the very beginning, when there isn't a lot of structure, there isn't a lot of business, there isn't a lot. There's just so I started, collecting the feathers, and I started really recognizing them more and more. And then that was happening a lot in the beginning. Well, then as the years went on, I was maybe noticing less or not seeing them as less. But then when I would have a really particularly challenging day, I remember one day I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what am I just nuts? I just need to go out and get a real job and just knock this stuff off. And it was just a tough week and day. And then I stopped my car because I was driving. I'd get my parking spot. I opened the door, and right there is this white feather. And it just stuck out. And I just knew it was them telling me, you're on the right track. Just don't give up. Don't give up. And so for me, yes, to answer your question, Julie, feathers are a huge sign. And I think that for each one of us, we have to decide, we have to decide for us, like, what it means. And then we can receive the message there. And I think they need ways to get our attention, because there's so many thoughts going on in our mind. There's so many, oh, Julie, I love your kitty. Oh my gosh. Love, love. I have two boys that are similar color, two brothers. And anyway, so we have so much going on in our minds that it really is hard, unless we're doing regular practice of meditation or doing regular practice of connecting with spirit. It's hard for that to get through. So that's why signs are so important, because it does help get our attention. So sorry, my dog's gonna bark for a minute. The mailman must be here because she cannot stand it. She cannot stand anyone walking down the porch. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull a couple cards here. If anybody wants to add anything to this conversation about science, feel free to jump in. It's gonna be really, really open, especially with the smaller group we have. This is perfect. Okay, so the third card I pulled was the rest card, the rest and reconsider. It's so important, especially when we are feeling more emotional, we're feeling more vulnerable, to take that time to rest, to care for ourselves, and to allow the messages to come through, whether it's messages from our loved ones, or even just messages from our own soul, messages from our team, our spirit guides. If we allow ourselves time to be in that receptive mode and have silence and have some space and time to receive it, more and more that guidance will come through. And one of the ways too that we can kind of invite that in and become more intentional about receiving messages it was just to ask them, whether we do it verbally or we just throw it out in our thoughts, is ask our loved ones or our guides, show me a sign, show me something that I know you're hearing this message and this request from me. Show me something that I will recognize and know, and let me feel the presence, and let me feel that it came from you. And they will. It might take some time. It might take a little bit of time. It might take time for us to be actually paying attention, and time for the sign to come through, but it will. It absolutely will. And the more we do that kind of stuff, it does strengthen that bond with them. Has anybody done that and had a really incredible experience where you just threw out a thought and you threw out a request and then you got confirmation? I mean, don't mean to put on the spot. It's kind of, but I would say experiment with it and try it. And because it really is incredible what can come through. Okay, I'm having a younger male come forward. And as I connect with this younger soul, he talks about loving baseball, loving sports, but especially baseball, I feel. He talks about the family going roller skating when they were younger, like going to the skating rink was like a thing, and that was more popular. He also talks about I get the feeling that this would be a brother. Does someone understand a brother in the spirit world? Okay, no problem. He talks about I feel like he was growing up in like the 70s and 80s, like that was when he was growing up at the age I feel. And I also feel there was a car accident related to his passing, because he brings up the car and brings up the car accident. So I just invite you to kind of expand if you think of, it doesn't have to be your brother either. Maybe if there's another connection that you can understand this, but the significant links would be around the car accident and
He loved baseball.
Can I talk?
yes, please, Julie.
My husband's standing here and it came to him. One of his best friends passed down the street in a car accident and he loved baseball. It wasn't like a sibling or anything. It was just a friend. So I don't know if that's correlation or not.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. I want to ask, did they have a really close relationship? This was like a brother to him. This was a close friend of his.
Come over here.
It's okay if it's a no.
What's that?
She's asking if it was like a close
I mean, we've
relationship,
been
like friends.
Friends since like 3rd grade. We were.
Okay, and would you understand going to the roller skating rink and going skating when you guys were younger?
Go skating all the time.
Yes, that I definitely feel like I'm with you. Is it okay to work with you?
Sure.
Okay. Can I get your first name?
Nathan.
Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Well, thank
Hi.
you so much for adding it, because I just always try to deliver to the best of my ability. But see, this is how the spirit world is. Even if you're within earshot, you might get pulled in sometimes. So I want to say he was really excited now that we're connected and he's recognized. I really feel like this man, like he had a lot of passion. Like he would get really excited about cars, and I know you're excited. What's that?
Motorcycles.
I thank you for saying that, because I had a motorcycle connection earlier and I didn't know how to place it. Thank you, Nathan. And also customizing them, like adding on extra things like lights or things like that. Would you understand that?
Oh, he's crying.
Oh, Nathan, this means so much to me. I could feel him here earlier and he was so happy to connect, and I couldn't place him, and that's okay. Go ahead, Nathan. I'm sorry.
His name is Jesse.
Jesse?
Mm-hmm.
he is so happy to be connected with you today. And he is so happy. I mean, I just get this big smile on his face. I want you to
Yep.
know that he's doing amazing. He is just living life, living my dream life. Like,
How he lived his life.
what's that? I'm sorry.
I said that's how he lived his life.
Yeah, he really was. He was a happy-go-lucky, joyful person. Like
Not ever.
yeah, and sometimes people would like get annoyed at him, like, why is everything always working out for you? He says people would say, like, I'm tired of everything, like, I'm tired of things working out for you all the time. Like, why are you always so happy? Like, people would really, his buddies and his friends, you know, in a joking way, but also in a half serious way, would be like kind of annoyed that things are always why are the girls always talking to you? Why is this always happening? You know, there just be things working on his behavior in his favor. And people would be like, what the heck, man? I'm sick of it. I'm not even your friend anymore, jokingly, of course, but you know, half serious. You know, you remember that he would just let things roll off him. If he had somebody digging on him, attacking him, like just negativity, you know, he would just, yeah. He didn't take it. He didn't let it bring him down, because he knew it was important that he keep himself at a certain level and keep himself positive and just,
He was
he just
all-
had this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He was always positive.
Yeah,
If you were always trying to make you not sad.
yeah. He loved uplifting others. He wanted everyone to feel good. He had a really pure heart about just wanting people to be as happy as he was and just make the best of a situation. And you would remember, even if you know, he would uplift others as you shared, and he would also, if something bad would happen to him, he would just be like, oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. He didn't want others worrying about him, because he just had a lot of faith. As you know, he might even not even called it that, but he would have a lot of faith. It's just gonna work out. And you really admired this about him. I feel like he was an easy person to talk to, easy person to be with. And he's coming through today just to remind you that it's all going to work out. Like, whatever's happening right now, it might feel stressful and heavy, and
It's crazy because we're talking to you, and literally he, from a quarter mile from my house, he had passed away 20 years ago. Almost. It was right around this time of year too. It was in the fall.
I'm curious if it was October, because when you said
It might
20 years
have been
ago,
October because the leaves were changing.
yeah, I was just feeling October, but you know, sometimes I
Yeah,
don't.
it was in the fall because I know it was just warm enough for him to ride his motorcycle, and like that's what he used to do a lot in his free time, and he was working a lot, and he had gotten a car accident on his way home from work.
And he acknowledged it. He talks about that time, you know, how it impacted everyone so much, and how he didn't even know how much others loved him, like how much love there was. And then as he watched all of the services and everything, like he was so touched by that, because you know, he just felt like, I'm just living my life and just doing my and doing my best. And it really did, like, he really got to see the impact of that he made in people's lives that he had no idea at the time. You know, maybe a couple of his buddies closest to him he knew, but he didn't really know. And he really wanted me to share with you, Nathan, that I'm sorry, my dog's gonna bark for a minute. My dog does not like people on the porch. I'm sorry. He wanted me to share with you that it's gonna be okay. The struggles, what you're working through right now, what's up for you and your family, and the stress and the worry and I feel like it's like really affecting like your sleep, or just your it's on your mind and heart a lot, and like, how's this going to work, what's going to happen, that it's a big stressor right now. And I just want to share his encouragement words that it's going to work out. Have the faith, just like he did when something would happen. He just knew it was going to work out, and this is going to work out for you and your family. And I don't know what the thing is. He's not sharing it with me. It's not important to share this at this place and time, but he just wants you to know it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. And does that make sense to you, or does that resonate for you?
We're going through IVF right now, trying to have a baby. So
And I think that he's also sharing this now. So sorry about my dog. So you can, I don't want to say the word adopt, but like take his how he just would let things flow with ease. Like, the more that we're in that trusting place with life unfolding as it's going to unfold, and with allowing things to unfold as they're going to unfold, like that can put us in a more receptive place of receiving too, when we can allow our bodies to relax, our minds to relax. And I really feel like that's why he's coming through today, is just saying it's gonna be okay, it's gonna work out for
Well, you had me like, I walked in when you said motorcycle to my wife, and I was trying to figure out, because my dad used to ride motorcycles a lot, and then when you had said something about a car crash, it started clicking.
Nathan. I really, really appreciate it, because you know what, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm still human, and I still the medium in me is like, I'm not even gonna post this video anywhere, because this isn't even, none of these are landing, like nothing's landing. Am I broken today? Like, I'm sitting here thinking, what's happening with my
Oh, I was outside.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what's going through my mind as I'm doing the work, as I'm just like, so I really appreciate, just from mostly for Jesse's benefit, and for that message to get through of his. Thank you so much for speaking up, and thank you so much for your openness and willingness to connect today, and Julie for making it all happen, and being here today. Because whenever I can deliver a message, that's the most important thing to me. That that I can do the best I can delivering their messages. But I really feel like he came through. Just say it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Because every morning or afternoon when I drive by the place that he had passed, I say a little prayer for him.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I feel like I'm saying the exact same thing, but in a different way. It's just like he would just have this relaxed, he just knew it was going to work out. Like, remember that about him, have that knowing, hold that knowing, because it will help. It will help. That's all I can say about that. But thank you both.
You.
I really appreciate being here today. And it's
Yeah.
okay, I didn't actually ask you, I kind of talked about it loosely in the beginning, but you weren't in here, Nathan, when I asked. So I post this on YouTube. Is that okay to post your video of Jesse?
Sure.
It's reading. Okay, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was a good one. I'm so happy. I can feel his excitement too. I can just feel that he's going to.
And funny you acted in that manner, the way you just did, on your excitement, because he used to do that. He would clap his hands, just get excited like that when we're excited about stuff.
Thank you for saying that, because I didn't really put all that in the intro, but I tell people in a private reading, that when I sit with people in a private session, is mediumship is more than the words that I speak, and it's more than the communication and the words. It's the whole atmosphere that gets created, the feeling that drops in for you guys. You guys might see, hear, things might just drop into your thoughts and you might feel things on your skin, but it's also like the gestures and things that they blend with me, is what they do. So they blend in the spirit world. They're here and they're excited to connect, and I'm just that medium that's between. It's your love that brings them in, your bond, your connection. So you're here and your energy is a big part of this, and then they're here, and so then they blend in with me. So I do allow their gestures. I can even feel physically, I can feel sometimes that they'll show me things that they were experiencing, feeling. So I'm so happy you brought that up, because I don't always talk about the gestures, but mediumship is all of it. It's all of the communication that comes forward. And this is for everybody, don't underestimate the thoughts that are dropping in your head as I'm talking. I might be working with one person, but if things are dropping in for you, Amber, or for you, Dawn, or anybody else that's listening later to this, they're always wanting to reach us. So when we're in a mediumship demonstration, even if we're not the one receiving the communication, they're closer because we're more open at those times. So don't underestimate those thoughts that drop into you, directly. So what a blessing for me, Nathan and Julie. Thank you.
No, thank you. It was good to hear that.
Yeah. He's very much around you. the whole gang. Actually, I'm hearing that he says, I hope you'll share this with some of the guys, because I know you're still connected to many of your mutual friends, and I feel like they would love to hear that he
Wow.
came through. So I feel like he's asking you to be the medium now, Nathan, to kind of share that, hey, he came through.
great.
And he's like, you should see the motorcycle and the cars I have up here. I'm not kidding you. They are off the chart. They're amazing and all tricked out. And he's just got it all. He's like not, not wanting for anything. So he's got this big like grin on his face, like I got it all. Like I got it all. I still everything still works out for me. Like he's so funny. He's so funny. And I know you'd remember that about him, Nathan. So thank you. And hopefully, please share this. Will be
Talks. It's like unbelievable. Like it's literally like he's talking through you, and it's crazy.
He literally is. He's blended with me. We're merged. We're like one at the moment. We're not completely one because I'm still conscious and aware, but he's in my energy field, and I'm not concentrating on anything else right now except for him, the communication, and the two of you.
Just because you said tell the guys, like we grew up in high school, there was a group of like probably 20 of us that still talk to this day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know you guys had the drinking games, the pizza nights, he was there for all of it. Like he's still there. That's the thing. You guys still get together, and you guys will, be BSing and just talking, and he comes up in conversation. Do you think that he's coming up because you're thinking about him, or do you think maybe he's coming up because you're feeling the impression of him near you? Like sometimes the thoughts we're receiving aren't even our thoughts originating in our mind. They're
Right.
impressions. Just because we all have the equipment of a medium. A medium is just someone who's developed the skill or naturally has the skill to connect, but we all have the same equipment. When you're receiving those impressions, many times it's just you're feeling his presence there. You just don't know it's his presence. It's just him being that close, and you guys are spending time together. He's gonna be there. Like he's not gonna not be there. He's part of you guys. He's part of your group.
Crazy.
So yeah, this will be on YouTube. Please share it out if you'd like. I got a brand new channel. I'm just starting to share my work online. I've worked for years in my own, like just people finding me on their own, and I'm just starting to do this more in a public way. So I'd love if you share it out. That'd be awesome. And I'll just say, for those that don't know, my Facebook page is Soul Connections with Medium Tara Armstrong, and that's how you can find me. I have been working out of the Rock Soul Love store in Ottawa for the past 2 years, but that store will be closing at the end of this month. So the page will be going down. So the main way to find me is through that Soul Connections with Medium Tara Armstrong.
And you're local.
Yes, yep, and I'm local. Yep, I do readings here locally. I'll be doing them mainly online after the store closes, but I do get invited to different events and get invited to different cities and stores. Like in the fall, I was in like Utica, Sheridan, LaSalle, Ottawa. So I just go around to different places and as I'm invited to those. And I do groups, even for families. I'll just to make a little mini commercial, sorry. I go to people's living rooms sometimes if they have a group reading and want to do a family reading. We will do I'll be invited to a group reading, and I'll just go to their homes and do that. And that's really incredible when we connect in a family setting. It's really incredible because sometimes when I sit one-on-one, that's wonderful too, but sometimes I'm delivering pieces and it's almost like we get amnesia as a sitter. Like I don't remember, I don't know, but there's a whole family of people there. There's so many people to help you remember, and also the energy of everyone. It all feeds it. So that's another wonderful way to connect. And yeah, I love getting to do this work. So any opportunity I get to, I'm very appreciative. So, and thank you, Nathan. This couldn't have happened without you. I just would have been saying all these things and nobody would have taken it, and I would have been like, I suck as a medium.
No, I'm glad she made me come in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Can't wait to tell my friends.
I'm sorry.
I can't wait to tell my other friends.
I know, same.
Yeah.
Is there? I have to ask. Is there a Larry in the group? I mean, I could be completely wrong on the name, but is there an L named Larry or Larry or Jerry, I don't know. Okay, no big deal. I might be
There's
moving on.
Jerry. I know a Jerry, but not a Larry.
Okay, no worries. I might be moving on. I don't always get names, and I was just kind of, the name just popped in, but I also did feel that Jesse was, that communication was coming to close, and I was going to open to another communicator. Thank you both. And I don't know where we're going next, but I'm just going to kind of open. I actually do feel like I have a father here. I don't know who he's connected to, but he talks about, I feel like he did some kind of like tradesman work, like plumbing or HVAC. I definitely have a tradesman here, was his occupation. And I also feel that, not only that was that his occupation, like he was asked by everybody under the sun to do work on the side, and he would say yes, like as his friends and family, and he was constantly doing like these extra projects. And his wife would even say, like, you have to tell people no. And that was like the hardest thing for him to do, is to tell people no. So am I still connected with you, Nathan?
Yes, his dad.
Oh, Nathan, you're, it's good that you're here.
Jerry.
Very
And my dad was a welder at CAT, and he would never tell anybody no on helping them.
Yes, yes. And his wife would say, your mom would say, like, you gotta tell people no, you gotta tell people no. And I have my honey-do list. And he would, but he just had this wonderful heart, like he just wanted to help people. I mean, he loved helping me. Just wouldn't tell people no. And did you say, was there a connection? Is there a Larry connection with him, or did you say no? I thought I heard
Jerry.
this.
Jerry's his
His
wife.
wife was Jerry.
Oh, thank you for saying that, because I have a cousin named Larry and I have a brother named Jerry. And when I heard that, I thought I was getting the Larry, but then, okay, I'll sort that out. That's my stuff. How I receive names, but thank you. I was thinking, no, it can't be Jerry. I'm just thinking my brother. That's why immediately, that's kind of why like I pushed Jerry out of my head and didn't deliver Jerry, is because I'm thinking of my brother, and you don't need to know all that. But okay, so back to connecting with your dad, Jerry. So when I connect with him, I just feel his kindness, he could, like, I'm human. I could be grumpy, I could be this, I could be that. But overall, like, he's got this really kind and gentle heart. And is that how you'd remember him, Nathan?
Yeah.
Just really kind. And I'd like do anything for anyone, like we talked about. I also feel like he had this really soft spot with I feel like you had a sister, and she would ask for animals. Like he's making me aware of like the children asking for animals, and like he doesn't want to have animals. He's like no on the animals, but they keep asking. I don't know if this was, what the pet was, but I feel like there was this, like, he finally was just wore down, like, okay, fine, we'll get the pet. And I don't know if it was a pet rabbit or
Might have been my sister.
yeah, I was feeling like it was a daughter.
I was way younger than them, so I wouldn't have known.
Okay. So maybe that's something you can check with her at another time if you want to, if you just want to validate that, but you don't have to let me know. But I feel like he was just like, I'd start off with no, but then I would just they would work me down to like, fine, we'll get the animal. And
Yeah, I always knew if I just kept hounding him, he'd just give it to me.
yeah, I just feel that's how he is like, yeah, I can try with a no, but I'm eventually gonna cave. And it just goes to show like how kind and giving he is as a person, and was when he was here as well. He said, don't feel like you're doing it all by yourself. He says, I know you're feeling the pressure and the stress. He said, don't feel like you're doing it all by yourself, because you have so much support there. You have so much support and love, and you're not doing it by yourself. He goes, I know I'm not there, and I can't, fix the drain if something happens in the kitchen. I can't do the physical things to help. He goes, but I do send a lot of support and love, and so do many others. You have so much family here, some you've never met. So I know you feel like you're doing it alone, you feel that pressure, but he goes, that's just, it's a thought, you have in your mind, but it's not. saying it's not what's real. Like, let us help you and feel that support. And I know that for this many people to be coming through, that you've been feeling a lot of pressure, and you've been feeling a lot of that, that, you know, the burden's on your shoulders, and almost like it's like a crushing weight of like, how am I going to keep this going and keep everyone in my life happy and keep it all together? And I feel like this is what he's coming through to say is, you're not on your own. You're really not on your own. I promise you. And just let us help you, and you will feel it. You will be seeing you'll be seeing that support come in various ways. And he said, also let other people help you, because sometimes people in the physical world, they want to help you, like buddies and other like family members. People want to help you. Oh no, you're like, no, I got it. But they're like, no, let me help you, man. Like, let me help you. And you're like, no, I got it. And you kind of like push the help away. But sometimes it's okay to say like, yeah, that'd be great. Come over Saturday. We'll knock it out together. So I feel like this had to have been something that has happened recently, where you're feeling the pressure, but you're just kind of like, no, I have to do this on my own. And he's saying you don't have to do it on your own. And actually it can be super incredible for you to let somebody give time and resources to you, because that does a lot for the giver as well. When they get to, there might be something that does for them, and it really
Say something on what you just said.
Yeah.
My sister's boyfriend last weekend told me that all I have to do is call him and he'll help me at my dad's place whenever I need.
And thank you for saying that, because I was gonna even say it can be a very bonding thing for you and another person, like just to have time to like help each other get through something that's difficult, because right now you do feel like it's on you. Right now you feel like, how in the world am I gonna get all this thing? Because you have so many things, you have things at home, you have things there, you have things at work, you just have things, and then things you want to do too for your health and you just have so many things right now. And then, oh, I love your cat. It's so cute. Thank you. That's just made my day. Let some of that, your dad's just saying, let some of that help in, because it's also going to be beneficial for him too. It's gonna be, you don't even know how healing it can be for someone else. For them, maybe another person it's getting to like help them feel like they're able to contribute, they're able to do more as well. So we don't always know. Oh my gosh, Amber, so cute, so adorable. Sorry, but Nathan, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to connect with your loved ones. And I feel that your father, none of your people are going anywhere. They're here to support you. And I know this time is trying. I know that there's a lot happening right now. And I know I can imagine your faith is being tested of like, why is some of these things happening? But they just want you to know there's so many beings and things are going to unfold the way they're meant to unfold. That's my belief system of what I feel like I'm receiving from all of them. But they just want you to receive that love and receive that support. Know it's there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and I have to know your cat's name, please.
That one that keeps walking by is Jack.
I love that. Jack. So cute.
Thank you.
I have a Kit Kat that looks very similar. So animals are incredibly healing, as I'm sure you already know that. They're incredibly healing. They help us keep our hearts open. This world can be really tough. This world can be really hard. There's many challenges. It very much tests us and tests us on so many levels. Animals are a great way to help us relax, heal, get more into our heart center, keep our hearts open. So I love that you have a little healer right in your home. That's incredible. Thank you guys. Thank you for giving them a loving home. Oh, okay, let's see who's next. And also thank you for being here, because seriously, sometimes I never know what's going to happen. I never know what's going to happen with these readings. I actually am going to a younger, and Amber, I'm feeling drawn, this might be for you, I don't know, but I'm going to a young man in spirit. And this feels like it is, a partner or significant other, or was a partner or significant other. This feels like someone who passed very young. I'm feeling like I'm, 20s, 30s, like I'm not even to my 40th birthday yet at the time of my passing. I just want to check in, Amber, if it resonates for you. I might be completely wrong or off, but
I don't think so.
okay, no worries. I'll just keep delivering pieces and then we'll see where we land. Something that happens also is my energy is a big part of the work, and being able to bring through and be a clear channel and be able to link with the spirit world. And I had some things happen before we came online, and I thought, oh goodness, I don't even know. I don't know how this is going to work. So I might be dropping in my energy a little. Okay, so I have a young man. I feel that he passed in his late 20s or early 30s at the time of his passing. I feel that he had a young child when he passed, and I think that's why I was drawn to Amber, possibly, because he was making me aware of, not only being young himself, but having a young child when he passed. And so he left a partner and a child when he went to the spirit world. He also makes me aware of having issues around with drugs and substances, having addictions. And I feel that this was related to his passing.
I know a guy that did, but it's been years since I saw him, and he didn't have a kid that I knew of.
Okay. Would this have been a significant friend in your life? Not at the time of his passing.
No, what was, we dated briefly, very brief, but
You did
I
date though?
yes.
Okay, because I said it was a partner, a partner. I'm just, even if the relationship was not very as significant to you, sometimes they're coming through for a reason. So I'm going to allow the communication just for a few minutes and see where we're going to go with it. So I just ask you to listen in and see if you continue to recognize him. And then we'll see where it goes. Okay. But just to be clear, so I know you dated, and so would you also say he was in his late 20s, early 30s at the time of his passing? Do you know if he was at that age?
I think so.
Okay, sounds good. And would you understand the substance abuse, the drugs?
Yeah, I found out later because we lost contact and I moved away that I did find out he did have problems.
Thank you. Yeah, I do feel like I'm with you. As we got that confirmation, I felt some energy come in. Okay, so I'm asking the reason he's here. He says that when you guys were together, that he did treat you very badly, Amber. He was very disrespectful. He didn't really take care of the relationship. He was really kind of aloof with things. He was really I can also get that age, but I shouldn't generalize like that. But he's just saying that he was very non-committal, very disrespectful, like at times, and very did some very hurtful things. And he's going to go more deeply into one thing, more specifically around the ending and the breakup of that relationship. But does that make sense to you? The aloofness, non-committalness, disrespect, just treated pretty badly in this relationship.
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. Amber, I feel like this is why he's coming forward today. So when we pass, we all go through a life review. And as we go through this life review, we get to see not only our life, but we get to see how our thoughts and our words and our actions impacted other people. And he says when he went through that life review, he could not believe how much pain that he caused. He was so he feels so horrible about the pain that he caused, and how he looked in his friend group and with other guys. Like, I know that was part of the influence of how he, why he did many of the things he did. And I believe you know that that was a part of it. Like that was a very determining factor. So he was almost like really different, you know, one-on-one or as you guys talked, but then he would be very different in a group. And you knew the peer influence was a big part of this. And he's very regretful of like acting that way, but more importantly, how it impacted you, and also how it impacted how you related to others for a period of time after that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Thank you, Amber. He just said, I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna say the word, but a D head. And I think that's the language he would use. So I just, you didn't deserve that because you were really genuine in your feelings. You were really you were a very genuine person, and you are, you very much lead with your heart, and you really treated him really well. Like you treated him with respect and fairness, and you weren't playing games or anything like that. And he really didn't, he just didn't match your energy in that way. And he is so sorry that is what he chose, because that's what he chose. And it had nothing to do with you. And this is the important part of the communication, is it had nothing to do with you, Amber, and how amazing of a person you are. It had to do with how immature, he's saying it had to do with how immature I was, and how I was so influenced by my friends and being cool and being this and being that and being, you know, worried about being teased. And it really was, it had nothing to do with you. And it didn't even have to do with how he felt about you, because he genuinely had strong feelings for you and really felt attached to you and wanted to be different, but it really was a maturity thing for him. And that's his reason for coming through. And I really appreciate you allowing the communication, being open to the communication. And I hope it was helpful to hear from him today.
No, thanks.
Does it resonate as far as that impacting how you felt about the next relationship or a few after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he was a D-head big time. And he also says that I think we all do that, especially in some first relationships, young relationships, especially if it's like a first love or very early on in our dating lives. We think it's about us, like we were treated really poorly, and we think that it's because there's something wrong with us. And he said that couldn't be further from the case. And he also says, like, I had no business being with someone who was so genuine when I was just like, he knew at the time even it was wrong, but he didn't understand the impact until now. So I'm just gonna close with him. I feel like this communication is coming to an end, but I also feel, Amber, the next person coming through is related to you and is coming through and still like a family member. And it's a woman, and it's okay. So your grandma's coming through, and she is talking about having an incredible marriage and being with her husband for forever. Like, this is like, she's like, you will have people in life that treat you like this person, and you'll have people in your life who see who you are and see your value, see your incredible heart. And as she comes through, I feel like this is the relationship she had with your grandpa. So would you recognize this grandma in spirit who just had the
Yeah.
most incredible relationship with your grandpa? And I feel that she is wanting to remind you, you know, first we have to know our worth. First we have to know that we are important enough to have boundaries, that we are, and this is just for a general message for everybody, that we are the one who teaches people how to treat us. And when we get those really special people who are genuine, who are like you, Amber, who lead with their heart to treat them really well, to be the best, to make the choices to be the best person we can be in that relationship. And I just kind of feel like this is like a blanket statement coming out for everybody, which often comes through in the messages, is that often we don't know how incredible something is that we have in our lives until it's gone. And I think that this general message is coming through for everyone of like really valuing the people that are in our lives. We just never know how long we have with them, how much time, how many memories we get to make. So that's why each day really is special. And Amber, as I have your grandmother here, like she's just telling me, I feel like she just had this joy when she was connected with family, and she got to, you would remember just so many memories of her smiling and just bringing so much joy to everyone. And I think that we all hopefully have these connections where we have those people who we know no matter how bad our day is going or how bad our year is going, that there's certain people we are with that just uplift us, encourage us, make us feel loved, make us feel special to them. And her coming through after that communication is also coming through to remind you that her energy is there with you. She's there supporting you, loving you. And I have to ask Amber, was she also a big cat lover? Did she love animals? Because I feel like I'm getting animals coming through as I'm kind of talking about her, and I don't know if I'm just distracted by Jack over there if she was, but would you also understand her loving cats and having them around and having them with her?
No,
Are you the cat person?
I am.
Okay, because I was even before you delivered that note, I was feeling like she's reminding you of that message I gave earlier. I feel like that was as much for you as everyone is, remember how incredible animals are at helping us heal, helping us keep our hearts open, and helping us when we are struggling in our minds. I think that we all do this, or I know I've certainly done this, where I've struggled in my mind thinking like, because some area of my life is not working out like I want it to, that I make it about something I'm doing wrong or something that I am, there's just some reason that I'm the problem or I'm not allowing it into my life, whatever the thing is. And I think that animals can have this wonderful way of bringing us into the present moment and getting us out of our mind. Because when we're spending that time with the animal and really connecting with them, we're deeply in the moment, and we're just enjoying that exchange of time and energy and affection. And our minds can be a really dangerous place, especially when we're struggling, because we kind of go through the same thoughts, like we loop through. And I just want to check, Amber, and you don't have to share if you don't want to, but does that make sense? Like the mind pattern, like the mind kind of going over a problem like over and over. Has that been something you've been noticing lately? Is that you're kind of like looping through the same problems?
Yeah.
Relating? Yeah, so I think they're kind of giving you that little invitation to spend more time with, and your little one is so precious.
Thanks.
I love getting to see Amaryllis, that beautiful face and brighten. And I want to check, Amber, I'd like to check. I think I'm gonna do my last communication because I just feel my energy kind of getting a little bit. I think I'm gonna move to the last communicator, but I want to see if you have one person, Amber, you'd like to connect with. I just don't tell me anything about them, like their relationship or anything. I would just ask for a first name, and there's no guarantee they'll come through, but I can definitely set the intention, and then we can go from there. Okay.
Their first name would be Heather.
Heather. Okay. So as I connect, the first I get somebody come through very strongly, and I feel this was a friend. So Heather was a friend connection, a very close friendship. Does that make sense to you? Okay, thank you for the yes validation. And I don't think this is going to be a hard communication because she is talkative and she has a lot of energy. I mean, this girl is ready to communicate. So you'd understand, you'd remember her to be high energy, ready for whatever, and just fun, a lot of fun. I just feel like she brought a lot of energy with her no matter what she was doing, and you'd remember that about her. Thank you. I also feel like I know I already gave friend as the relationship, but also you'd consider there's a lot of sister energy too. So the closeness was like very much you'd call yourselves like either soul sisters or sisters. Like there's a lot of that sister energy. And she also says, I feel like she was, she's been there for you through breakups. You've been there through with her through breakups. And I really feel like there would be that feeling of no matter who is in and out of our lives, like we will be here, we'll be here for each other. And I feel like that's also part of that feeling of loss feels so strong. It almost feels like you lost like this rock in your life, like this person who helped you with that stability and helped you feel like yourself. Does that make sense to you, Amber?
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you. I do also feel that she passed before your little one was born, because that's the next thing she was giving me is is that a yes?
She passed when I was in 6th grade. So
Oh goodness, I'm so
we
sorry.
were way young.
Yeah, so I definitely had some of that wrong then for sure, because I was just feeling like you guys were connected through many of these of life's challenges. So I definitely got that piece wrong. But as she was giving me the connection, or as I was getting the information from her, I just knew she wanted me to let you know that, she has met your little one. So I was feeling that. Yeah, I have to apologize because I do feel like my energy is a little bit dropping. And I feel like I'm doubtful of like giving really strong evidence, which is always the most important thing for me in the communication. But I do want to say, Amber, I feel that sister energy. I don't even know if you guys had those BFF or best friend necklaces, but I feel like I don't know if you had any of those, like those charm necklaces. But even if you didn't, I know you guys called yourselves and consider yourselves best friends, because she's showing me that charm necklace as I come to a close with her. And she wants you to know she's still a huge part of your journey and there with you and supporting you. And that I want to give one more last evidential piece. I feel like and I know you were young when at the time of her passing, but she talks about you guys getting into trouble together. Like she would talk about just little innocent things like, sneaking this candy or doing this or going. She just talks about like wanting to be up to mischievous things or wanting to like just do random things just because of the silliness and the laughing and the I don't know, just this feeling of like, okay, we're doing something we're not supposed to, but we're together and we're doing this, and we're it just shows me like her like giggling and laughing about like everything almost. Does that make sense to you at all? Does that resonate?
No. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, a lot of evidence is like coming through and it's not super strong, but I want to say that she says you stay connected to her mom, that you still talk to her mom or are connected to her mom.
I am.
And she really, she thinks that's wonderful and she appreciates that. And she's so happy that the two of you are connected. And she said her mom's almost like a second mom to you or another mom. And she feels like, she's really happy that she's happy for you and she's happy for for her mom, that you two have each other. And she said that's been such an important connection for her mom to have you in her life and to have someone that loved her as much as you do, like that you guys have that commonality and that bond and that love. And I feel like that's been so healing for not only the two of you, but for her to get to see your guys' joy and your guys' connecting. And I feel like you guys even, you guys will share things like share messages and share memories and share things about her, but even have shopped together and like have done things like maybe lunch or gone things. She just makes me aware of this ongoing relationship, and she's really appreciative of it. And I thank you, Amber, for the opportunity to connect with you and with her. And just
Thank
go ahead.
No, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope to get to connect again with you. Oh my gosh, so adorable. Hello. So precious. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Amber and Julie, Nathan, Jack. I really appreciate. And your little one, Amber. Amber, what's your little one's name?
Hemingway.
Hemingway. Oh, love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Hemingway, for being here also. And yeah, for anyone that watches this later, if you want to follow my work, I want to do many more. The whole month of January, I will be doing free readings like this and then recording them and posting them online to allow more people to see what a reading with me is like. Every medium reads differently, so I want people to get to experience what this is like. And I'm also doing private sessions in Ottawa at the store. The store is shutting down, but the building itself, I'll be doing readings at the Ottawa location for the month of December, and then those will end at the end of December. So if you'd like a private booking, you can reach out to me on my page as well. And I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And again, a big thank you to Nathan for jumping in, because I know this isn't what you planned to do today.
No,
Spirit always has their own plan, and I always say when we let them lead, it's always going to be about healing. It's always going to be about love, connection, and healing. So I thank you for your openness and just everyone for being here. It means the world to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I hope to see you all soon.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Right.